Hey guys, Chris Clothier here. I'm your host. Welcome to another episode of the Grind Podcast. I've got a great topic today, one that I have spent years being told over and over and over. It's a phrase from my dad. He said it to us for years. I think it's important, so important that I wanted to cover it on the podcast early on. Listen, the phrase that he has repeated to us since we started this company was details matter. Okay, so what does it mean for you? What does it mean for us? How do we apply it daily? And how do we make it more than just some cliche, just a couple of words that anybody can repeat? It's a mantra. No, this is way more than that, okay? Details matter is a philosophy that we use in business. It's a way we approach our day. It's the way we approach our relationships with other people. Whether you are an active real estate investor trying to build your business, buying, fixing, selling, developing, whatever it ends up being. If you're a passive investor and you've got management companies or turnkey companies out there that you have to manage, or perhaps you have partnerships, perhaps you're a small business owner, you've got a car wash, you've got a mobile detailing company, you've got a laundromat, you've got corner grocery stores, you're a franchise owner. It doesn't, again, my point is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what business you're in or how you're trying to apply it. The phrase details matter, the philosophy that we use in approaching our daily business is this. If you are 98% good at what you're doing and you've missed the 2%, you've missed crucial details that are the difference between successful businesses that are growing and successful businesses that are maintaining, successful businesses that are just kind of hanging out, even successful businesses that will soon be unsuccessful. It's the difference between everything is okay and acceptable and nothing is okay and acceptable unless it's perfect. As long as you're driving to perfection, then details and the daily details, they really matter. Here's some the way we apply it on a daily basis. The biggest way that we, kind of apply this philosophy and push it down through our teams is we do small daily group meetings. So we'll take a department, or we'll take a piece of a department, call it a management company, our management team, our collections team, our rental team, our sales team, our, we have an accounting team, we've got a marketing team, any of them. And we bring them together as a small group. The reason why these small group meetings matter, and I'm not talking about it's not always planned. Sometimes it's unplanned. Sometimes it's let's get everybody together right now and let's sit down real quick and let's go through where you're at today, what you're doing today, what the plan is today, what happened yesterday, where are you at for the next month, quarter, year, whatever. We sit down in these small groups because it allows people the chance to talk. It allows people the chance to kind of share the things that they want to share. So as we are having these small group discussions, we've got this way of doing things where we ask questions that they maybe haven't heard in a while. So, and a great example of this is this. So if we're watching a KPI, we're going to use management for a second. If we're watching a management KPI and we want to know the number of houses that are vacant longer than 20 days, because for us, that's a metric that, look, it's borderline almost unacceptable. You don't want to be vacant with a rental property for longer than 20 days. So it's a KPI that everybody watches. It's a number that everybody knows all the time. But when we get to it, instead of asking how many are vacant 20 days, we say, well, how many of those have been vacant longer than 10 days? And then how many have been vacant longer than 5 days? Out of any of the houses, how many of them had more than 3 showings and they're not rented yet? That's an example of asking 3 questions about, a detail that it's a KPI that we all know, we're always aware of, but we ask these deeper probing questions. We ask something that, it forces a team member to get a little uncomfortable and they have to dig into data that maybe they weren't 100% on top of their head, but now they know that, hey, this matters. This is something that I need to be checking in every once in a while on. Maybe I'm not held accountable to this number daily, but if I can ask a different question once a week that I haven't asked in a couple of months, it's a way for me to dig down deeper into the details and kind of know the health of my company, know the health of my team. It keeps everybody really, really on their toes. It's a process that we use, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm not going to tell you that we come up with the questions in advance, because we really don't. We're just listening. We're listening to our team. We're bringing them together in small groups where they feel free to share. And then based on something that we hear or based on a question that we always ask, then we just ask something different. So I really challenge you. Details matter. It's all about asking better questions. Ask questions of your questions. Get deeper in there and pay attention to the very, very minute details. Now, I'm going to share two more quick things with you about this philosophy of details matter. One is managing by wandering around. My dad is an expert at managing by wandering around. Brett and I, we're still trying to learn the philosophy and the way about going about our day the way he does. The dude is fantastic at getting up, leaving his desk. He'll show up to somebody else's desk, ask questions about their kids, ask questions about their weekend, ask questions about their job, about their teammates, about their leader, anything. Just say, what's going on? How are things here today? He asked a fantastic question, which I absolutely love. The team, I'm sure that they hated at this point, but how's your workload? You got any extra capacity there to take on a new project? You got anything else that we could squeeze a little more out of you on? And it's a question asked in jest, but it's a question also in seriousness, because you want to surround yourself with people that say, yeah, I can take on more. I want the challenge. And so he's asking about these details of each of the team members of what's your day-to-day, performance. How are you? Do you like what you're doing? Do you like the teammates? Do you like your leader? Are you getting the information you need back? How is your time? Do you have time to dig more and get more? And it's funny because he's not always asking them to do anything else. He's just reminding people that, if you're going to give up 8 hours of your time for money, then use those 8 hours to the best of your ability. Go and do everything you can. Get the most out of yourself. As something he's teaching us as owners and leaders is expect more out of everyone around you. Pay attention to that little bitty detail. I pay somebody X amount of dollars. They give me X amount of time. But is there more that we can do? It's not a case of trying to push down on people or make them do more. It's a challenging question. It's a detail that they need to be aware of. Do I have more capacity? Do I want to drive? Do I want to do something more? Do I want to contribute more to the team or the company, whatever it ends up being? It's a great way to build rapport with your team and just ask them this challenging question that makes them really dig back inside and say, man, do I have more that I can grow through? So that's two clear examples of like the way we kind of use this philosophy of the details really matter and way to get to more of the details. And here's the third one. And probably the one that's had the greatest impact on our company, and it's surveying. For years, we've surveyed every one of our closings whenever we sell a property to an investor. We ask them how their experience has been. And if you've ever gotten one of these surveys, if you've heard about them, you may or may not know that we survey about every single piece of the equation when it comes to a closing. We want to know how the attorney did. We want to know what your experience was like with the insurance company, what your experience was like if you had a mobile notary. How was our sales team? How was our portfolio team? Were, anybody you dealt with, were they responsive? Did they listen? Were they, trying to make sure they built the best property for you? These are very probing questions that we ask. And then when we get the surveys back, this isn't something that you just get and you kind of throw off to the side. In every one of these answers, and whether they will dig deep and give you a lot of detail or not, there's a detail there that you must pay attention to. For us, if it's not, we have a 1 to 10 scale that somebody can grade us on, and they can always leave us notes. If somebody doesn't leave us any notes, we're paying attention to the scores. A 9 and 10 is about as good as you can do. Of course, a 10 is perfect. Some people will never give you a 10. So we look at those 9s, that's okay. Anything less than that, there's an issue. I'm going to call, or the team is going to call and say, what was it that we didn't do to meet your expectations for you to score us an 8? And it's so funny because a lot of times clients, they'll react with, well, it was great. I had no issues whatsoever. I just, it's, for me personally, it's hard to give somebody a 9 or 10. So I scored you an 8. There's nothing you could have changed, but I'm blown away by the fact that you actually call and ask. You want to change the trajectory of your business? Don't accept an 8 from a client on a rating scale of, on any type of survey. Call and ask, what could we have done better to get that 9 or 10? What's the detail that we missed? We've blown our clients away, but here's where we really put the practice into better implementation. We surveyed 2 other groups of people. They're part of those 4 that are the stakeholders of our company. We surveyed our team members. What can we do better? What how can we serve as better leaders? What type of what type of environment can we create that makes your job easier, more fun, gets you more excited to show up, whatever it ends up being. And we listen, we read, we pay attention. Inside of all of those survey responses or details we can pay attention to and learn from. Then we come up with the idea of, wait, we actually rent more houses every month than we have team members. So we're going to get more responses on a short-term basis from our residents. And we close more rental leases than we do homes. So why don't we survey our residents? If they're the most important stakeholder in all of this, the one that's going to keep a property occupied for a long period of time and kind of affect the result for the client, why don't we see what they think? Now, I've got a challenge for you. We began to survey our residents, and it took us about a month to get a really bad survey. And here's how we led our team and showed everyone around the table, on our leadership table, that details matter. This isn't just some platitude. It's just not some phrase we throw out there, but we live it. The first time we got a bad survey in, right then in our executive meeting, we sent the leader of our management company, the head of the renovation team, and the leasing agent out. We said, get out of the office now, go to Kroger, pick up flowers, pick up cookies, get over there, meet that resident at the house, sit down with them, find out what all the issues were, why they gave us a bad review, why they said they weren't happy with their closing, their rental property, or, any issues, any details that we missed in that renovation, you make sure that they're handled today. You not so much apologize, you take ownership of. You let her know that this is below our level of expectation, so we are making sure that we over-deliver on the backside here. Flowers, cookies, the whole team's there. We fix it within 24 hours. That was almost 2 years ago. Today, if we get a bad survey on a Thursday, we read it on Friday in our executive team meeting, and when we sit down on Friday, all that's already happened. The visit's already been paid to the house. The work has already been completed. We've made sure we listened to that resident to find out what it is that their issue was, what were the details that we could have done better. We pay attention to that last little 2%. The 2% that's the difference between being good and stagnant and being great and growing. And it's just massively important. And it's probably the best example I can give of why details matter. Look, if you want to affect your business, if you want to affect your portfolio, if you want to, no matter what it is you're looking for as whether it's a business owner, investor, whatever stage you're in, you need to write these 2 words down on a sheet of paper, put it in front of you on your desk, put it on your mirror, put it in front of you as you're driving to work every day. Details matter. Put a big exclamation point at the end, underline it twice, okay? Because every day you're confronted with details. And when you slough them off, you're slipping. When you dig in, when you ask questions of your questions, when you hold your team accountable, when you live the philosophy of every detail matters to my ultimate success, that's what the grind's all about. It's the willingness and the ability to say the little things matter. They make a big difference. Guys, remember, you can have results or you can have excuses, but you can't have both. And the number one way to get to results is to grind it out, paying attention to the details. Guys, thank you very much for joining me here today. I've got some fantastic topics to keep covering. I'm enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying it. Guys, we'll see you until next time. Keep on grinding. All right. Keep on digging your way through what you want, and we'll get there together. All right. We'll see you soon. Take care.